Hello, welcome back. We are on Fairy House Part 5. Thank you for being here with us. My name is Charles Drexler. I'm the creator of Absolute Win. And of course, Absolute Win is a web platform for personal change, and we're here to promote health, wellness, and sustainability. So sustainability, I had this crazy project idea. We're going to create a fairy house, a doll house out of cardboard boxes. So sustainability, we're going to do some recycling, and we've been working on this. This is now, like I said, our 5th video in this series, and we're going to take a time out today, and we're going to do something different. We're going to work on glue and paper mache today. So that's our next task for the day. I wanted to show you, this is our fairy house that we've been working on. Like I said, parts 1 through 4 are going to deal with how we got to this, and it looks rough, but it's going to look better once we cover the whole thing with paper mache, and then we're going to paint it and decorate it and turn it into a kid's wonderland fairy house. It's going to be a blast. Okay, so what is this video really about? Like I said, I'm doing live streams of all of this footage. Now, I forgot to hit record on one of these cameras. I'm going to do that right now. There we go. Okay, so, and I'm sitting on this exercise ball. That's why I'm so bouncy. Okay, so what are we doing here? We are working on our fairy house, but more importantly, we are here to practice. We are here to do a little bit of the project every day. Practice is about doing. It's about doing it again and again. Practice is about learning through doing. It's about engaging your concentration, and it's trying to get to a desired result. So sometimes when we practice, we might do something and it's not right. And so you got to back up and practice and get to that desired result again. So that's what today is going to be about. The other aspect of practice that I want to talk about is my filmmaking practice. I am here speaking to you now from a multi-camera setup that I'm running here in my home studio. I've got 5 cameras and a 6th desktop camera. We're running all of this stuff through OBS, Open Broadcaster software. So I'm doing a live switch here. If I want to change over to my other angle, that's it. You're going to see my desktop, and this is where we're going to be working here. And then you can see over my shoulder and some other angles. So this is very much my filmmaking practice. I'm here to work on my skills as a filmmaker, but I also want to do some of this hands-on arts and crafts work with you. So I really appreciate your being here. I am very, very happy to have you. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and there's going to be more great content coming your way. These live sessions that we're doing is part of a series. We're going to take all this footage that we've collected and we're going to cut it down into a very short how-to video. But this is an opportunity for you to hang out with me. It's an opportunity for you to see behind the scenes the filmmaking that I'm doing. So I appreciate your being here. Thank you for being here. Let's get started on our project. Let's talk about what we're going to do today in part 5. Okay, so part 5, as we said, this is our fairy house here, the structure. We've built it out of cardboard, we've run wire through it, we've hot glued it, and it's pretty strong, it's pretty firm. But the next step that I'm looking for is I want to cover the whole thing with paper mache. And I think that will give it a nice exterior texture. That's something that we're looking for. and it'll make a surface that's going to be paintable, and that's great. So how do we do paper mache? Well, there's a number of different ways that you can do it. I've looked up recipes online, and I've talked to an art teacher that gave me some inside tips. The paper mache recipes that you'll find online, a lot of them, they include things like salt. Salt is an ingredient that will help keep mold from mold and bacteria and other things that you don't want to grow on your cardboard project. The salt will help keep that away. I'm not going to use salt in this project because I think that this is going to stay in a relatively climate-controlled temperature, and I don't want it to have that texture. I don't want to mess with salt. Other paper mache recipes will include flour, right? Put some flour in there, and flour will give it texture, right? That kind of gritty feeling, right? I'm not doing that. I don't want to mess with flour. So I'm going to go with an old tried and true method that is just glue and water. Just this, school glue, white glue kind of stuff. I put a label over the label because these people didn't pay me to put this in their video, but this is what we're going to use. And I've got some water here, and we're going to mix them together in this bin here. So we're going to have a wet, gluey kind of mixture, and then we're going to add paper. Now this is paper that came from an old moving box. All kinds of dishes and things were wrapped in this paper, and I thought this paper has a really nice texture. It's got a nice color. It's not too thick, and we're going to rip it into strips like this, dip it in the glue mixture, and then we will be putting it onto our fairy house. Now, I will tell you, I did some testing with this glue mixture, and mostly I liked it. I didn't want to mess with the salt, I didn't want to mess with the flour and all that kind of stuff. Just glue and water, and it worked pretty well. But the last time I did a test, and I don't have this on camera to show you, that's why we're here today. The last time I did a test, I used too much water. And basically these little pieces of paper kind of got very wet, and then I put them on the cardboard, and they didn't quite stick to the cardboard very well, and then the cardboard would kind of warp and bubble, and it just ended up creating something that wasn't tight and strong that I was looking for, especially when I have this structure here that's really solid. I want to put something over it that's going to make it look good, but also maybe make it more solid. And too much water made it wet and flimsy, and the water soaked into the cardboard. So why am I telling you all of this? Because today, after spending hours and hours and hours building this structure, I am going to do a test. I'm going to make some solution, some paper mache solution, and we're going to put it on a piece of cardboard that is not this because I want to do a test and see how is it going to dry. What's it going to look like once I use these materials on something else? So my test is this little box over here. This is our little fairy who's going to live in this house. Let's see here. Hello, hey. So she can go back to the house and hang out. You can watch. I always mean to turn, her wings light up, and I always forget to turn them on. Push that button. Okay, so this is my test, this box. And I was thinking that maybe I would close it up and wrap the whole thing with paper mache and turn it into like a couch for the fairy house or something. But I actually think what I'm going to do after looking at this is I'm going to cut this top off, and we're going to make a bathtub for the fairy house. Or maybe it's a fairy spa or something. But it's going to be a container with one side that's open. And I'm going to cut that right now. Okay, there we have it. Isn't that magical? This is going to be a fairy house bathtub, and it will be movable. This is going to be so wonderful. I'm so excited. I can't wait to do this with you. Thank you for joining me. Hey, if you like this video, by the way, please hit subscribe. Please hit like. Please hit share. Share it with people that you think might like it, you know. Happy to have you here with me. Happy to have you on our channel. So, okay, let's get to building this thing. I need to make some kind of solution here with this glue. I'm just using regular old white glue. And then this is just water. It was warm water when I started. Now it's actually pretty cold. But that's what happens. You get everything ready and set it all out, and the warm water goes to cold temperature. So, okay, let me tell you about this box before I get started. Why do I think this box is a good representation of this? Why is this going to be a good sample? Well, it's got a couple sides here that are kind of folded over. Double thickness cardboard, sort of double thickness cardboard in the bottom. As I'm looking at it, it's got this funny like flap here and flap here. I think maybe I would try to actually cut a piece of cardboard that might make that bottom all flat. So I'm going to do that. And these sides here, they have mailing tape on them. I think I'm going to just rip that off because I don't think glue is going to stick to this stuff very well. So, and I have some tape that's on the actual fairy house that I'll have to rip that off as well. But okay, now I'm looking at this box, and like I said, I've got one side, two sides here that are pretty, you know, reinforced cardboard. Then I've got these two edges that are really just one ply cardboard, and that would be similar to what I'm seeing here in this fairy house right here. This is one ply. This wall and some of these other little walls are kind of one ply. This is, excuse me, one ply. So I'm not sure what's going to happen when I put a gluey wet piece of paper on a one ply cardboard. Is it going to warp? Is it going to distort? Or is it going to dry nice and hard the way I'm looking for? So I'm not sure. That's why we're doing a test. You got to do your tests. In a way, this whole live streaming thing has been a test for me. I've done 5 live streams now so far. Really, what I'm trying to do, and I will show you, is I have another camera here that's taking time-lapse photography. And time-lapse takes a long piece of footage and compresses it way down, and it does it in the camera. I want to show you how long it actually takes to get those shots, and I want to show you what it takes to actually have a live presentation with all the things that you need. So, at least in this day and age, right? Streaming is the future, and it's going to be here forever and ever. Gone are the days we're going to sit and do this together. Pull up this video, and we'll do it together this way. All right, maybe not. But anyways, let's get to work. I'm ready to get to work. I'm kind of rambling. Thank you for being here with me. What I'm going to do is mix up this solution of paper mache. Not too much of the glue, mostly glue, and then not too much water is what I'm going to go for. A lot of glue, a little bit of water, and then I'm going to rip pages like this that will be the right size, and we're going to work on covering this with wet glue paper. So that's what you're going to see. We're going to hang for maybe about an hour, maybe a little more, a little less. I'm not really sure. But that's what we're going to do. Let's get to work. And I'm going to turn the music up so that you can jam out with me. Thank you. Okay, let's get mixing.
Yeah, we are in the place to be.
Okay, I just wanted to take a minute to say that this paste that I put together, it feels pretty drippy, but it's very thick. The first time I did this, the water and glue was almost like soupy, and that's where I went wrong. So in this case, this is pretty thick. I'm gonna give this a shot. It's still dripping off my fingers, and it's a viscous kind of glue, but it's very thick. And I'm gonna see if this works. I'm gonna just go with this one. So this is what we're gonna do. Let's make this bathtub, hot tub, whatever the heck it is. And of course, then once we put it together, we're gonna have to let it dry. So let's do that, and that might be it for this video.
whoa, 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 yeah, we are in the place to be. Yeah, 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 yeah.
guys, there it is. This is my fairy, what did I say this was? Fairy bathtub, fairy spa, fairy feeding trough, I'm not sure. I covered the whole surface, top and bottom, and inside and out with this paper and this paper mache mixture that I used just glue and water. Now I will tell you, when I was doing this, the glue felt really slimy and a little bit thick, pasty almost. And I think that's the right consistency. I can tell already from my other test compared to this test, this is probably going to be more what I was looking for. And I'm excited about this, but I'm going to let it dry. There's glue all over. The more I touch it, the more my fingers stick to the glue and kind of pull paper off. So I'm going to kind of let it dry like this. Let the air move around it. If I set it on top of this workspace, I would be worried that it would glue down to this, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to kind of let this air dry. And that's it for our video today. Thank you for being with us. Make sure that if you do this at home, that you have a space for it. I got a lot of drips and stuff around. My hands are very, very sticky, and it's not something that you want to do lightly, right? Play with glue and have glue all over. So that's your warning. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being with me. If you like what you're seeing, please hit subscribe, please share, and thank you for being a part of this movement. And that's it. That's all I got for you. I'm going to leave you with my quote.